Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. We are here with our topic of CNS, which is sedative hypnotic drugs. And this topic would be covered in two lectures. We will be discussing about benzodiazepines and barbiturates. So this is the basis of the CNS because these drugs would be used in a couple of different conditions which are very important in the CNS, as already told you in the introduction to CNS. Learning objectives would be that I would expect by the end of this lecture you all should be able to draw the mechanism of action of benzodiazepines and barbiturates, and you should know how to compare and contrast these two on the basis of mechanism of action, clinical uses, adverse effects, drug interactions, and treatment of toxicity. So by comparing and contrasting both of these you would be able to cover the whole chapter. Okay? So it would be delivered in two parts. First of all, you should know what do you mean by sedative drug. हम normally language में कहते हैं कि you should take a sedative to relax yourself or to induce the sleep. So there is a confusion between these two terminologies, which is important to understand. Sedative is not a drug which induces sleep. That is a hypnotic. So hypnotic is a drug that induces or maintains sleep. ठीक है, or normal arousable sleep. But in contrast, sedative is a drug that subdues excitement, calms the patient, relaxes the patient without inducing sleep. So you should know the difference between a sedative and hypnotic. So the major drug groups for the classification of sedative hypnotics are barbiturates and benzodiazepines and the newer drug groups. So first of all, we move on to the barbiturates. They're classified on the basis of their mechanism of action into long-acting, short-acting, ultra-short, and intermediate-acting. And the main drug is the phenobarbital, which has been used in a number of conditions. And in short-acting, we have various drugs like butobarbital and secobarbital. Whereas in ultra-short-acting, the main drug is thiopentone sodium. And this drug has been mentioned earlier in journal pharmacology because this is a drug with a high lipid solubility, and that is why it reaches the CNS in within seconds and used in as anesthetic as well. So this is thiopentone sodium. Then we have an intermediate acting amylobarbitone and cyclobarbitone. So basically in the ends of their name they have mostly barbitone. So you would be easily recognizing them that barbiturates are those which are having at the end of the name barbitones. Then benzodiazepines, they have been classified on the basis of their clinical uses as hypnotics, which induces sleep, like diazepam, which is the main prototype drug. Then flurazepam, nitrazepam, and a number of other drugs as well, which you can memorize. Then anti-anxiety, or you can say anxiolytics, in which again there is diazepam, chlordiazepoxide, oxazepam, lorazepam, and alprazolam. I hope you have heard of the drug which comes with the trade name of Xanax. Most commonly used drug in every house. People do take for if they have some stress. So to relieve the stress, especially if you cannot sleep the night before your exam or any other issue is going on in your family or something like that, then the most commonly used is Xanax, and which contains alprazolam, which is anxiolytic drug. Anxiolytic means which breaks the anxiety, like anti-anxiety. Okay. Then anticonvulsants for different types of fits, like diazepam again, clonazepam and clobazam. Then anti-epileptics, and epilepsy is another topic we'll be covering in the upcoming lectures. And in that again we have diazepam, clonazepam and clobazam. And then as skeletal muscle relaxant, diazepam. So diazepam is a main drug, prototype drug, and you should, whenever anything comes about benzodiazepine, so you have to write down basically about diazepam. Okay? But one or the other drug has differentiating features from the prototype drug, which you have to just remember the key points. Regarding the newer benzodiazepine hypnotics are those which are free from the adverse effects which are because of the benzodiazepines and barbiturates, and they have less addicting properties. We'll be discussing them at the end of the lecture. And then there are miscellaneous sedative hypnotics which are the older ones like chloral hydrate, paraldehyde and methaqualone, which are not used nowadays. Then this slide is showing you the drugs with the trade names. I hope you must be familiar with some of them if anyone is using amongst you or in your family. Like I just told you, alprazolam comes with the trade name of Xanax. The Razipam, which is a benzodiazepine, comes with Ativon. Okay, and Valium, the most important and most used drug, and in a number of conditions which you just saw in the previous slide, diazepam. Okay, so first we'll be discussing about benzodiazepines, and in our next lecture we'll be compiling about benzodiazepines and barbiturates together. First of all, about the general properties, they have a high therapeutic index, which means there is a wide margin of safety between its therapeutic dose and its toxic dose. So these are safe. So अगर किसी ने for suicide इसको लेना है, so he has to take a number of heavy dosage, ठीक है? Because those drugs which have a narrow therapeutic index or narrow margin of safety, for that even a small dose can induce toxicity because there is a less margin between therapeutic dose and toxic dose. Okay, so they are comparatively safer as compared to barbiturates. So I'll be comparing them together in some aspects. Number two, the hypnotic dose does not affect respiratory or cardiovascular system. If the normal dose is given, it does not affect the adverse effects in respiratory system or cardiovascular. Then it causes less distortion of sleep. Okay, like a person goes into smooth sleep rather than more awakenings. Then we have rebound phenomena is less marked. If you stop the drug abruptly, then there is a rebound phenomena with every drug which has a potential for addiction, and this rebound is less with benzodiazepines as compared to barbiturates. Okay. Then it's not an enzyme inducer. If you recall from a chapter of Journal Pharmacology, we discussed about cytochrome P450 enzyme inducers and inhibitors. That can be any enzyme inducer and inhibitor, but cytochrome P450 is a wide range of enzyme systems, so we normally mean that in this sense. So barbiturates में जो prototype drug है वो मैंने अभी आपको बताया, which is used in different conditions, that is phenobarbital. So that is an enzyme inducer. ठीक है? If a drug is an enzyme inducer, obviously, which means if you give this drug with another drug, there is a drug interaction in which it enhances the metabolism of the other drug. So what happens if with other drugs metabolism is enhanced? Obviously, its half-life would be decreased and its efficacy would also be decreased. So barbiturates are in barbiturates only phenobarbital is enzyme inducer, whereas in benzodiazepine these does not affect the cytochrome P450 system. So these are also differences of benzodiazepines from barbiturates in general properties only. Okay, and it has a low abuse liability, less addiction as compared to barbiturates. Okay. And the toxicity of benzodiazepine, if somebody takes it with the intention of suicide, it can be antagonized with the help of a flumazenil, which is a benzodiazepine receptor antagonist. However, barbiturates, they cannot be antagonized with the help of an antagonist, so we have another remedies for the treatment of barbiturates, and barbiturates have more addiction, more rebound phenomena, more sleep distortion. Okay, so remember benzodiazepines are comparatively safer as compared to barbiturates. Obviously they're not safer in the term but as compared to barbiturates. So effects on sleep, it hastens the onset of sleep. Like नींद नहीं आ रही, आपने मेडिसिन ली है तो आपको जल्दी नींद आ जाएगी. Okay, so it hastens. Then it reduces intermittent awakenings. बार बार नींद में उठना जो interruption होती है, that is less with these benzodiazepines. Then we have increased total sleep time. And centrally mediated skeletal muscle relaxation is also beneficial effect of benzodiazepines. ठीक है, it relaxes the skeletal muscles. And students, one thing, when do we need to relax the skeletal muscles of the body? ठीक, when a person and when a surgeon has to do the surgery, he needs to give, apart from anesthesia, he has to give the muscle relaxants. ठीक है, he has to give other drugs apart from the anesthetic. So these drugs are called adjuvant drug, ठीक है, for anesthesia, or we can say pre-operative medication, pre-anesthetic medication, ठीक है, which are given before anesthesia. So anesthesia में सिर्फ यही तो नहीं कि पेशेंट को एनेस्थेटिक दे दिया और आपकी अभी बॉडी इज ऑल्सो रिजिड और आपने उसमें लेरेंजोस्कोप डालना है या कट्स लगाने हैं, एंड द बॉडी हैज अ इंक्रीज टोनिसिटी, सो यू हैव टू रिलैक्स द skeletal muscle. So that for that purpose we give benzodiazepines which are centrally mediated. Then, and they also have anticonvulsant property. Mechanism of action of benzodiazepines. So remember one thing, you have to remember the name of the receptor, which is GABA receptor chloride channel complex. This is the full name of the receptor, which is also important from the MCQ point of view. And as I just told you, okay, this is your learning objective for this lecture, that you should be able to draw the diagram of the receptor and write down the mechanism with the help of a diagram. And this is also your assignment for today's lecture, to draw a diagram showing the mechanism of action of benzodiazepines. Okay, so you have to remember the name of the receptor. If you just say a benzodiazepine acts on the benzodiazepine receptor, it's not sufficient. You should tell that it's a chloride channel complex. So they binds to the beta subunit. I'll just showing you in the next slide the picture of the receptor, and it carries the alpha beta interface where benzodiazepines bind, and on the beta subunit the GABA binds. And what is their mechanism? They increase the frequency of the chloride channel opening. ठीक है? There is a different terminology which you must be get familiarized with. Number one is frequency of channel opening. ठीक है? Basically, which ion is entering inside the cell? Chloride. ठीक है? And what is happening? Benzodiazepine are increasing the frequency. Frequency increase करने का मतलब है कि बार बार उस चैनल को ओपन कर रहे हैं. And the another terminology is causing the increased duration of opening. एक दफ़ा चैनल ओपन हुआ तो ज़्यादा देर के लिए ओपन रहा. Increases the duration of opening, and that is seen with barbiturates. So this is the main difference between the two. ठीक है? So benzodiazepines themselves do not increase chloride conductance, but they increase the frequency of chloride channel opening. They have only GABA facilitatory effect. Since GABA is also binding to this complex, so they also facilitate the GABA binding to its receptor. ठीक है, दो तरह से खुद जाके बाइंड करेंगे क्लोराइड की फ्रीक्वेंसी को ओपन करेंगे चैनल की, एंड देन दे आल्सो एनहांसेस द बाइंडिंग ऑफ GABA टू इट्स receptor side. ठीक है, so they are called GABA facilitative, whereas barbiturates, they have GABA mimetic effect as well. Mimetic means mimic करना. So barbiturates, what do? They also act as GABA. ठीक है, and they mimic the action of GABA. So GABA का भी enhance करेंगे, उसकी duration को भी ज़्यादा करेंगे, क्लोराइड चैनल की ओपनिंग को, एंड फैसिलिटेटरी भी हैं. Whereas as compared, benzodiazepines are only GABA facilitatory. They increase the frequency of chloride channel, but they do not mimic the action of GABA. ठीक है? And another thing is कि these benzodiazepines, they bind to the alpha beta interface. They have a specific receptor binding site, whereas barbiturates, they do not have a specific binding site. They just bind to any site adjacent to this GABA binding site. Okay, so let's have a look on the diagram. This is a very important diagram, bachcho, and this is how you have to draw the mechanism of action, and this is from your Lippincott. Okay, this is the pentameric structure of the this benzodiazepine GABA chloride channel complex, and as you can see from your knowledge of general pharmacology, this is transmembrane receptor, and since it's dealing with the entry or exit of ion, so it's an ion channel. It's not a G protein coupled receptor, that is a serpentine receptor. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहली बात इसको आप recognize करो, this is a ion channel. It has got 1 2 3 4 5 subunits, 2 alpha, 2 beta and 1 gamma. ठीक है, and what is happening कि it is related to the conductance of chloride. This is normally when there is no agonist bind to this receptor, the chloride cannot enter inside the cell. Now let's have a look on the picture B. GABA, which is the excitatory which is an inhibitory neurotransmitter, which is binds to the GABA binding site, which is located over here. Then chloride enters inside the cell, and what happens when the negative ion enters inside? It leads to hyperpolarization of the cell. Okay, and for the relaxation or produce the sedation or the hypnotic effect, you need to hyperpolarize the cell. Similarly, in the third picture, which is C, there is binding of GABA and benzodiazepines. Okay, this is the GABA binding site, and this is the beta and gamma interface where there is the binding of benzodiazepines. Okay, and what is benzodiazepine doing? Number one, it is binding on its interface. Number two, it increases the frequency of the chloride channel, and number three, it is GABA facilitatory. ठीक है, but what is barbiturates? Barbiturates bind to its site, which is adjacent to the GABA binding site. It's a GABA facilitatory, it is GABA mimetic, and it increases the duration of the chloride channel. Once open, it will keep it open for a longer period of time, unlike the benzodiazepines, which causes the chloride channel to open frequently. ठीक है, so this is how you have to write down the mechanism of action of these drugs with the help of a diagram. Label it properly, showing all the subunits and the conductance, exit or entrance of the ions. Okay, this is a very important slide showing the various chemicals, neurotransmitters and drugs acting on this ion channel complex. GABA, which is as just shown, it's agonist at GABA A receptor. Okay, you have to remember this thing. Then you can remember from the slide that pictotoxin, it's binds to the chloride channel non-competitively. Then barbiturates bind to allosteric site, which is related to the pictotoxin binding site. And benzodiazepine also binds to its benzodiazepine binding site and facilitates the GABA action. Okay, and from the knowledge of general pharmacology, when we discussed about the inverse agonist, then we discussed only one drug in pharmacology, and that is beta carbolane, which is although binding to this ion channel complex, लेकिन कर क्या रही है? Instead of causing sedation or hypnosis, this drug is acting as a CNS stimulant. Rather than relaxing or causing sedation, it has opposite effect. ठीक है, तो inverse agonist जब आपने पढ़ा था from general pharma, what was its properties? Its properties was that it has affinity, but its efficacy is -1, like it's in the reverse direction. तो बाइंड उस रिसेप्टर के साथ कर रही है जिसका नॉर्मल फंक्शन ये है कि उसने हाइपरपोलराइजेशन करनी है, बट इसके बाइंडिंग से क्या हो रहा है कि देयर इज द इफेक्ट ऑपोजिट to sedation and hypnosis. So this is a classical example of inverse agonist. You can also quote in your general pharma when any definition is asked with example. Okay. Then flumazenil, we just discussed that flumazenil is an antagonist of benzodiazepine. Okay. And barbiturate does not have an antagonist or an antidote. Okay. Baclofen, B for baclofen and B for GABA B. So it's an agonist at GABA B receptor, whereas GABA is acting at the GABA A receptor. जिसकी अभी मैंने पिक्चर अभी आपको दिखाई है binding site, that was for GABA A. Whereas baclofen is also muscle relaxant, but it acts at the GABA B. B for baclofen, B for GABA B. So this comes in your MCQ as well. ठीक है? So these are the chemical structures of various benzodiazepines. Diazepam being the main drug used in many conditions. This is the we can say the pharmacokinetics of various benzodiazepines, their biotransformation. As you can see from this picture that they are mainly excreted from the kidneys through the conjugation. Okay, and what can you see that these drugs are converted into its metabolite, this methyl diazepam, and this is converted into oxazepam. So these are all these drugs which are mentioned above. They convert into active metabolite, which then undergoes conjugation, and conjugation is necessary to make the drug water soluble, to make the drug excretable. Okay, whereas lorazepam is the exception to that, and which is directly excreted out through conjugation, right? It is not converted into its active metabolite. So you have to remember this thing. Okay, oxazepam and lorazepam, they are these two drugs are not converted into its toxic or active metabolites. Okay, so these are lipid soluble, well absorbed and well distributed. Okay, about the fate of these benzodiazepines, their hepatic microsomal system, they get converted into active metabolites excreted in the urine as glucuronides, as just showed you through the diagram. And remember one thing, they cross the placenta. Uses of benzodiazepines. Uses, students, once again I'm reminding you and emphasizing you again and again, uses can be asked in many ways. Like you can be asked clinical uses, therapeutic indications. Okay, so both of these means you have to write down the diseases. So uses of benzodiazepines, number one, as hypnotics in sleep disorders. क्या sleep disorders हो सकते हैं जिसमें you need to induce sleep? Just think about it. कोई स्ट्रेस है, कोई ट्रॉमा है जिसकी वजह से आपको नींद नहीं आती, एंजाइटी है, यू हैव जेट लैग. ठीक है, तो दीज आर ऑल द स्लीप, ऑल ऑफ देम आर स्लीप डिसऑर्डर्स. So number one, chronic insomnia if the duration is more than 3 weeks. Short term insomnia for 3 to 21 days. Transient for 1 to 3 days, like in you have traveled to some other country where there is a time zone difference. Then as anxiolytic and anxiety disorders such as secondary to panic disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, which is also called GAT, generalized anxiety disorder. Social anxiety disorder, you have a social phobia to appear in public or to intermingle. Then performance anxiety, like you have to perform on the stage or before someone, like in your exam. Post-traumatic stress disorder, like in severe, you have gone through severe stress or trauma, like the death of some closed one, then this is, you cannot sleep, then these are the indications. And obsessive compulsive disorder, there's obsession that you keep on repeatedly doing something. Okay, so these are the uses of benzodiazepines. Number one, as hypnotic, as anxiolytic. So you should know the difference के hypnotic का क्या काम है, to induce sleep. Anxiolytic का क्या है, to relieve the anxiety. ठीक है, so there is an overlapping between this condition, but you should know the difference between these terminologies. Then as anti-epileptics, in absence seizures, specifically we give clonazepam, diazepam as anticonvulsants. Okay, then you can say you might be thinking that fits are anticonvulsant and anti-epileptic. So what is the difference? So fits can be because a number of reasons, like because of even fever. In children there are fits which are called febrile convulsions. Due to some drugs there can be fits, like in strychnine, which causes convulsions. Okay, in epilepsy there is a neuronal discharge abnormality which leads to epilepsy, which we're discussing in detail. So these are two different things. Okay, and seizures are basically, which say it's what is the person experiencing. ठीक है, physically जो आप देख रहे हैं, लेकिन epilepsy में कोई derangement है, there is a defect in the neuronal discharge. Okay, and convulsions mean के it can be because of any reason, even because of fever, you can get fits on the high grade, very high grade fever. Then a centrally acting muscle relaxant. So when you need to relax the muscle, especially during muscle spasm, muscle strain, you were playing football, your ankle got sprained, so you can give muscle relaxants as well. As pre-anesthetic medication, which I just mentioned before surgery, okay? They also cause sedation and amnesia. Amnesia means loss of memory. For the time being, you need to give. Induction and maintenance of anesthesia. Some of the drugs are short acting, rapid acting, some are long acting. So for induction, you need to give a drug which is a rapid onset of action. Okay? For maintenance, you need to give a drug which has a long duration. Okay? ये ना हो कि शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन वाली आप मेंटेनेंस के लिए दे दो तो अभी पेशेंट का एक्शन ड्रग का ख़त्म हो जाए और अभी ऑपरेशन चल रहा हो. सो यू हैव टू give the drug with a longer duration for maintenance. Okay. Alcohol withdrawal, because whenever you withdraw any drug which has the potential for addiction, तो क्या होता है, there is extreme craving for that drug. ठीक है, person becomes very irritable, ठीक है, out of control. There is sympathetic stimulation. For that you give to relax the patient. So you can give these drugs to relax the patient in case of alcohol withdrawal. देन बिफोर ECT विद इलेक्ट्रोकन्वल्सिव थेरेपी, ठीक है, जो पेशेंट्स होते हैं जिनको आपने देनी होती है ECT फॉर साइकेट्रिक पेशेंट्स, तो इन दैट केस यू हैव टू फॉर कैथेटराइजेशन एंड एंडोस्कोपीज, ठीक है, और फॉर ऑल ऑफ दीज यू नीड टू गिव these benzodiazepine to relax the patient. Okay, now we move on to the pharmacological actions of these drugs. So in low doses they cause euphoria, and you all know what is euphoria. Feeling of well-being, ठीक है, fatigue, feeling drowsy, shallow breathing, trouble coordinating your movements. So these are the effects at the minimum doses. And what about the high doses? In high doses there is the feeling of paranoia. What is the paranoia? It means that it's perception of something which is not there, or in some relationship or to the world which is not a real world, right? So aggression, easily agitated, difficulty in remembering the events. These are all the effects of benzodiazepines on the high doses, but these are short-term effects. Okay. Effects in overdose. If somebody has taken these drugs in intention of suicide, then what happens? He may go into state of unconsciousness, respiratory depression, cardiovascular depression, walking difficulty, CNS depression. So all the centers are depressed, and there is shallow breathing as well. Long-term effects. If a person is having addiction to these benzodiazepines, then what are the chronic effects? There can be rebound effects, because these drugs can cause a reversal effect, and in the rebound effect the patient may lead to seizures. ठीक है, instead of calm and relaxed feelings there is occurrence of seizures, which is fits. Tolerance develops. If you recall from the chapter of general pharmacology, you discussed about tolerance and tachyphylaxis. So tolerance was decreased response to a drug when given repeatedly over a prolonged period of time when initial response was there. So initially the benzodiazepines are giving their effect, like they are causing you relaxation, they are producing the calming effect, but one time comes that there is development of tolerance to these effects. Okay, so every drug which has the potential for addiction, there would be tolerance, okay, or when you withdraw the drug at once, then there would be withdrawal effects. Okay, and withdrawal is okay, no one wants to feel the unpleasant withdrawal, so continues the use. So if you even try to stop this addiction at once, if you stop at once, then there will be severe withdrawal effects, and the effects are very dangerous. Okay, so it is advised that if you want to give up that drug, any drug of addiction, you taper it off. Psychological effects of benzodiazepines are relaxation, as we discussed that these drugs are sedative hypnotics. Okay, they relieve the person from anxiety, and they are anxiolytic, and makes the person feel drowsy, and sometimes distracts you from other problems going around you and your own life, and just it is just a temporary fix, we can say. It is also seen as depressant effect, okay, and effect on the cardiovascular system is also depressed, respiratory system is also depressed. Regarding the withdrawal symptoms, when you withdraw the drug, there is excessive heart rate, increase in the heart rate, which is called tachycardia, headache, panic attacks can occur, tremors, and changes in perception, and weight loss because of the severe withdrawal symptoms. Paresthesias, which is pins and needle feeling, tingling sensation in the extremities. Okay. Detoxification, why it is needed, when and how. Detoxify is a journal term which when we say we have to remove some toxin from the body. So this is in the case of poisoning. Okay, if someone has poisoned you or you have poisoned yourself in the intention of suicide and you are landed in the hospital, so what are the steps to detoxify? Not everyone needs a detox. First remember this thing. Okay. It is more likely when longer durations of treatment, when higher doses were taken, when more potent benzodiazepines were taken, and the drugs with a short duration of action, they have more potential for causing toxicity and with a predisposing history of anxiety problems. So these patients need a detoxification. Okay. Regarding flumazenil, flumazenil is the antagonist of benzodiazepine at the benzodiazepine receptor. We discussed initially the difference of benzodiazepine from barbiturates is the effect of benzodiazepine can be reversed by its antagonist or by its antidote, which is the flumazenil. So as you can see, this is binding to the benzodiazepine GABA chloride channel complex. Do remember the full name of this receptor complex, students. So here we, instead of the benzodiazepines, which is one of them is midazolam, okay, there is binding of flumazenil, so it prevents the binding of these drug, inhibits this receptor competitively. So how this is how it acts as an antidote. So this is often asked in an MCQ. Okay, which of the following drug is an antidote to benzodiazepine? So different naam likhe honge like sodium bicarbonate, ammonium chloride, ठीक है, and other antidotes which you have covered so far. So flumazenil is the option. Okay. Barbiturate does not have an antidote. Benzodiazepines have an antidote or antagonist, which is flumazenil. So what is flumazenil? You should know it's the benzodiazepine receptor antagonist. And this also reverses the tolerance to benzodiazepines and reduces the craving for that drug. So students, that was all for today. We have discussed in this lecture okay, what do you mean by sedative drug, what is a hypnotic, what is the difference between these two terminology. We've discussed the classification of benzodiazepines and barbiturates, and we compared and contrast benzodiazepines with barbiturates. We discussed about the diagrammatic mechanism of action of benzodiazepines and barbiturates and their pharmacological actions, adverse effects, treatment of poisoning, and clinical uses of benzodiazepines. So in the next lecture, we'll be discussing about barbiturates and we'll be recalling what we did in this lecture. So inshallah, see you with the next lecture, and do submit your assignments on your respective WhatsApp groups. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.